Pinocchio. A long time ago, there was a man who made puppets. His name was Geppetto. He lived with his cat and his goldfish. I want a child, he said to himself. I want someone to talk to. One day he found some wood in the forest. He decided to make a puppet. He worked very hard. When he finished, he was pleased. The puppet was a beautiful wooden boy. I will call him Pinocchio, he said. He is a beautiful puppet, but I want him to be alive. A fairy heard Geppetto. She waved her magic wand and touched Pinocchio. Live, Pinocchio, she said. Be a good boy and do what your father tells you. Then she heard a noise. It came from a box on the table. Jiminy Cricket was in the box, the fairy said. You must be Pinocchio's friend. You must tell him what is right and what is wrong. Geppetto woke up the next morning and he saw that Pinocchio was alive. He was very happy. Pinocchio, he said, you are alive. You are wooden, but I love you. You are my son. But Pinocchio was a silly boy. When Geppetto or Jiminy Cricket tried to help him, he didn't listen. He hated school and he was very bad at lessons. School's silly, he shouted. I don't want to go to school. The winter was very cold. Geppetto gave Pinocchio some warm clothes and books for school. Then he worked all day and all night. He was very cold and tired. Pinocchio saw this and he felt sad. I will come home after school and help my father, he said. But on the way home, Pinocchio heard some music. A lot of people were outside an old theatre. Oh, look, said Pinocchio, a puppet show. Pinocchio sold his books. He bought a ticket and went into the theatre. The theatre owner saw Pinocchio. Oh, look, he said, a puppet with no strings. He put Pinocchio with the other puppets. Pinocchio started to cry. He wanted to go home to Geppetto. Why are you crying? Asked the puppet. I'm sad, said Pinocchio. My father works hard. He thinks I'm a good boy. He doesn't know where I am. The theatre owner heard Pinocchio and he felt sad. Go home, Pinocchio, he said. Here is some money. Buy some warm clothes for your father. But Pinocchio didn't want to go home. He had an idea. I want a puppet theatre, he thought. Then I will have a lot of money. My father will be happy. Pinocchio walked in the snow and played with the money. He thought about his idea. He didn't see a fox and a cat. They saw Pinocchio and they wanted his money. Hello, little boy, said the cat. Do you want a lot of money? Asked the fox. We can help you put your money in this magic hole. Come here tomorrow and you will find a tree with gold leaves." Pinocchio believed the fox. He put his money in the hole. In the morning, Pinocchio went to the hole, but he didn't find a tree with gold leaves. He looked in the hole. "Where's my money?" Pinocchio asked. "Oh no, the fox and the cat took my money." Pinocchio was very sad. Jiminy Cricket was next to him and said, "You were a silly boy. The fox and the cat weren't your friends." "Oh, be quiet," shouted Pinocchio. Pinocchio walked in the snow. He was very sad. He got lost and sat down. He went to sleep. When he woke up, he didn't know where he was. The fairy and Jiminy Cricket were next to him. "I'm very sad," said the fairy. "You are not a good boy." "That's wrong," shouted Pinocchio. "I am a very good boy." Suddenly, Pinocchio's nose got longer. "What's happening?" asked Pinocchio. "You lied, and your nose got longer," said the fairy. "It will happen every time you lie." "Oh no, please, I won't do it again," said Pinocchio. "Okay," said the fairy, "but you must find Geppetto. He went to look for you in the sea, and now he is lost." "Oh no, my father is lost?" Pinocchio said, "I must help him." He said, "Let's find him, Jiminy Cricket." Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket ran to the sea, but there was a storm. Pinocchio didn't know what to do. Suddenly, he saw a cart go by. A big man and a lot of children were on the back of the cart. All the children were happy. They laughed and smiled. "Where are you going?" asked Pinocchio. "We are going to Playland," said the children. "We can play and dance all day. Come with us." "Don't go," said Jiminy Cricket. "I will go for a few hours and I will come back. We will look for my father," said Pinocchio. He ran after the cart and sat next to the children. Jiminy Cricket climbed into Pinocchio's pocket. Playland was a wonderful place. There were games and sweets. Pinocchio loved it. He forgot about Jiminy Cricket and Geppetto, but Pinocchio touched his head. He had 2 donkey's ears. "What are these?" he asked. "Ha ha," said the big man. "You've got a donkey's ears and a donkey's tail. You are a donkey. You can pull my cart. Ha ha." Pinocchio was angry. He kicked the big man and ran away. The big man ran after him. Pinocchio got to the sea and didn't know what to do. The big man looked very angry. Pinocchio jumped into the sea with Jiminy Cricket. Suddenly, he saw an enormous whale. Its big mouth was open. "Help!" said Pinocchio. But the whale ate Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket. Suddenly, they saw an enormous whale. Its big mouth was open, "Help!" said Pinocchio. But the whale ate Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket. Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket went down into the whale's stomach. They saw Geppetto in the whale's stomach. "Father! Oh, father!" said Pinocchio. He was very happy to see Geppetto. "Pinocchio, my son, where were you? I looked for you," said Geppetto. "Father, I was a bad boy. I'm very sorry," said Pinocchio. "It's okay. You are here now," said Geppetto. Suddenly, the whale sneezed, and Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, and Geppetto came out of the whale's stomach and onto the beach. Pinocchio woke up in his bed. Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket, and the fairy were next to him. He saw his arms and legs. He touched them. He had soft skin, not wood. "I'm a real boy! I'm a real boy! I'm not wooden!" he shouted. "Yes, you learnt to love," said the fairy. "That was your lesson." Everybody was happy. Pinocchio was a real boy and Geppetto had a real son.